Happy Halloween, dear viewers. With the month drawing to a close, I've decided to return to the Vampire Hunter D franchise and look at the second movie, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. I said in my review of the first film that Bloodlust was my introduction to the franchise, before I even started reading the novels. I remember it being a top-quality piece of dark entertainment, but it's been a few years since I last watched it. Let us see if my memories are as favorable as I hope. We delve once more into the world of Vampire Hunter D to follow the vampire hunter, named D, as he continues to hunt the blood-sucking rulers of the night. His latest job is a request to rescue a young woman kidnapped by a vampire named Meyer Link. Tracking and fighting Meyer proved to be challenging enough already, but D also faces competition from a rival group of hunters along the way. The difficulties only grow as the journey continues, as Meyer gathers assistance from allies of his own, and encounters with the lady herself imply that the abduction may be more than a simple kidnapping. This film is gorgeous. I mentioned before that the prior movie was a good example of 1980s animation, but every element seen there has been polished up to a brilliant shine for this installment. The level of detail in character designs and environments makes every shot look like a work of art. The soundtrack has an orchestral magnificence, and every motion is carried out with beautiful fluidity. The occasional strobe effect is distracting, though, but the rest of the film is a visual and auditory masterpiece. But that's only to be expected from the same animation studio that gave us Ninja Scroll. Much like the previous film, Bloodlust provides a blend of post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, gothic horror, and western aesthetics. And much like the previous film, it's a solid story that makes that blend work, though this title leans more toward gothic horror than western, and it goes through more twists and turns. It starts out as a straightforward search and rescue mission, but a number of personal revelations soon complicate that objective. There's also a strong focus on the nature of human, vampire, and dhampir relations in this world. While this gives us a more complex story than the first movie, there are also more side encounters and interactions that don't serve much purpose outside of world building. But at least it's a very beautiful world being built. With a more complex story comes a larger cast of characters, but they're all juggled well enough to receive a fair amount of development. D is the same cool stoic as in the first film, maybe even more so, surprisingly. But several interactions allow more insight into his past and his mindset. The Marcus clan are a boisterous set of rivals with some impressive combat abilities, and they get multiple opportunities to demonstrate their skills. Layla tends to get the most focus of the group, and while she may behave like the abrasive, tough girl archetype, her willingness to learn about other circumstances makes her the team's most empathetic member. But if you've read the novels, you know that the Marcuses are portrayed far more charitably here than in the source material. The antagonists here also make an impression, especially compared to Count Magnus Lee of the first film. Meyer Link is certainly more proactive in his objectives than the Count was, and the revelation of his true goal actually provides a sympathetic angle to his character. His Barbaroi guards are a quirky bunch at first glance, but their striking designs and fantastic abilities make them memorable and challenging opponents. Meyer's late-stage ally Carmilla does show the same hedonistic tendencies as Count Lee, but she pursues her goals with far more zeal. I'll admit that the first Vampire Hunter D film benefits from a leaner story, but I enjoy Bloodlust more overall. Much like the first film, my vote goes for the English dub, primarily because that's the only audio track on my DVD. As I understand it, Bloodlust was initially released in English, with Japanese audio added at a later time, but I have yet to hear that version. I will say that the voice acting seems improved over the prior film, particularly in regards to the title character. Andrew Philpott gives D an even stronger sense of detachment in this story, but there's also a hard edge to his tone that comes out when he's pushed. The one weak point is that the term dhampir received a mistranslation from English to Japanese and back to English, so get used to hearing the word dun peel instead. Other than that, The voice work is fine all around. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust was released on the usual physical formats: VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. Unfortunately, and in the absence of a re-release, they've become hard to find and expensive to purchase through the standard avenues, so your best opportunity for a personal copy will likely be the second-hand market. If you do manage to acquire a copy, I strongly recommend that you take good care of it. This darkly beautiful adventure is just the thing to watch on a Halloween evening. Enjoy the festivities. Thank you for joining me in this brief look into the archives of my vault. If this story interests you, please feel free to like this video and to comment on what you enjoy about it. And if you would be kind enough to share this video, it will not only help my channel to grow, which I appreciate, but it will bring more attention to these older or lesser known works.